recording for the first time in a while.
Yep.
We really wanted to cover topical issues in a priority order.
Yeah, dude, the world's in a weird state, and like we are bringing like the hard-hitting issues.
We've already covered cigarettes and the occult, which were the first two things we needed to talk about. We
Absolutely,
thought
those are like very crucial items.
we think what's most in our lives.
We
ghosts and
realize that
cigarettes.
there is no afterlife. There's no God.
ODB didn't come back like we wanted him to.
We didn't summon a demon into John's house.
So far, we're 0 for 2 on successful, endeavors in this podcast. No one's addicted to cigarettes.
About what cartoons we want to fuck.
Yeah.
Okay, well, top 5 hottest cartoon moms
Of any cartoon.
of any cartoon.
It doesn't have to be a children's cartoon.
Well, but you want to fuck them, or you wouldn't.
Yeah, I want to fuck them.
All right. I always thought it was weird to want to fuck a cartoon.
Yeah, I mean, it is. But we're all fine with it.
We're all fine with it.
There's nothing wrong with it.
All right.
Well, yeah, you don't think they're hot?
Oh, dude, we're using my phone as the other camera. My list was on my phone.
Oh, fuck.
I'll try to remember it.
Goddamn.
I'll try to remember it.
This isn't one of those things where, like, 30 years from now, they're going to uncover this recording and just be like, oh, these guys need to go to jail, right? Like, this is one of them things.
Well, no, they're moms, so they're of legal age.
Yeah, but you don't know how the
I don't
future
know what
laws are going
list
to be.
you have on your phone, you fucking pervert.
Oh, no, well, we're going to find out, aren't we?
I would say
He's like top 5 hottest Rugrats.
Yeah.
That was Brandon, not me. That's what Brandon thinks.
Yeah, but that's
actually
not the
think so,
soundbite
like-
that's coming out of this.
Actually, the most of the shit we talk about would probably put us in jail 50 years from now. Maybe.
Oh, what? Like episode 1 where I explain how to buy spice?
Or like everything, dude. Like it's just like I don't know. Like I you guys aren't paranoid about that at all?
What?
Like shit that you do now being illegal, like 50 years from now, and then being able to trace it back on the internet.
Well, I don't really do
You know,
anything
like-
that illegal. I mean,
I don't know. You don't know what we're
There's
talking about that could be illegal from like.
I mean, dude, we'd have to get like real bad.
it could be illegal to like mention slavery in 50 years if the tides turn the wrong way.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Well,
I
then they
mean,
would
it's
have to like undo the Constitution.
Is that
They-
that far?
They
is that like
fucking
that
tried.
crazy?
But you know what? If that happens, the last thing they're going to be looking at is this fucking podcast.
They're going to be like, all right,
Yeah.
we've arrested all the
It
terrorists.
would be
It's
cool.
like an automatic
It
algorithm.
would be
It's like-
cool if our podcast did spark like the second American Civil War.
We'd probably get
Yeah.
more listeners.
Yeah, we'd
Yeah.
have so many listeners, and that'd be the coolest thing.
Half of the
There's
listeners
so
would
many
love us.
sponsors, dude. We'd be like, "This war is brought to you by MeUndies."
Yeah.
And it started because people didn't like our list of hot
Or
cartoon moms.
hot
Yeah.
cartoon moms. Dude,
Yeah.
everybody. Okay, it's not like we want to fuck them. Like I've never jerked off to them, but like there was someone that was like, dude, she's kind of hot, dude. You saw her as a kid, and like, why'd they draw her like that?
Yeah, no, that's
Yeah.
a good point. You're like, no, an adult drew this for a reason.
That's one thing I've always
Like
wondered
Jessica
about.
Rabbit, dude.
Yeah.
Well, that was like the joke.
That was the joke, though.
She was supposed to be like a sexy, like they're like, how'd he get? It gave me hope as a comic. Like,
Yeah, but there's shit like I mean, I guess that's part of the joke too. I was going to use Daria as an example, the cheerleader and stuff. Like, why does the cartoon have like an amazing, perfect body? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
it's like, no, what was the cartoon that like all like a bunch of like when I was a kid, a bunch of little girls were into that was like extremely sexual. I can't remember. Sailor Moon.
Sailor Moon.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
All
Like
right.
that.
Also, that was a boys' cartoon too. I mean, it's for all genders.
Okay, so we all know Jimmy
Shoot.
watched Sailor Moon.
I'm a
We all
huge
knew
fucking
that.
Sailor Moon. I'll scream it into the mic. I love Sailor Moon, dude. Don't
but
fucking
they had like.
don't fucking put your
but if you
gender
go on-
norms on
but
me
if-
that
But
today.
if you,
all right?
so I had to write a joke about Sailor Moon, and I had never watched it. I just remember like girls that I
Fucking
went
fighting
to school with
crime by
watching it.
moonlight,
Yeah,
looking for
so
love by
I had to write a
daylight.
joke
Fighting
about
guys
it.
like-
She is the Sailor Moon.
She
I had
fought
to- but
Tuxedo Mask.
I had to write a joke about it for
See, you
this.
fucking know.
We had this thing at Pharmacy for Christmas
Mm-hmm.
that was like to see who could write like jokes with 5 random words, and I won, of course. But there
Of course,
there
John
were
won.
but,
In the same way Donald
there
Trump
was
won
a
the
joke
election.
about. I had to write a joke about Sailor Moon, and I knew nothing about it, so I just Googled Sailor Moon, and the first 10 things that came up were how perverted it was, and there's like compilations on YouTube of them doing like panty shots and shit, and it's just like why was this necessary for
But
a
that's like-
children's cartoon?
That's like
it doesn't-
all anime, and the thing
Yeah.
is, like Sailor Moon, like in Japan, really isn't for kids. It's for like teen young adults. But like when they were shipping anime to America in like the 90s, like those execs were like, "What do you mean it's for adults? It's a kid." So they would put it on like Toonami, and you're like, "Dude, what the fuck?"
Right?
That's why like this generation is all weird and fucked up because they
it's
all watch anime where like a lot of jokes in anime. It's like there's like one old guy who's just like a pervert, and he's like usually the sensei, but he's like there's like a hot like anime chick with big titties, and he's like grabbing at her
The
breasts.
Speed Racer chick was
Exactly. And you're like, dude, like I was watching this.
She might be on my list. I don't think she was a mom.
She wasn't a mom.
No.
I think it was just his Trixie. That was his girlfriend.
Yeah. Did you ever
Speed
hear
Racer was rad.
the DJ Kyoki in the 90s? I used to think it was the coolest thing when I was a kid. DJ Kyoki was like a techno DJ in the 90s, and he made a Speed Racer porn mix. And it was like the Speed Racer song, but like a techno version of it.
Like, go
And
Speed
it was like,
Racer. Like,
And then all of a sudden, Trixie would be like, "Oh, speed!" Like, shit like that.
that is fucking
It was great. There's literally the scene where it was just them moaning back and forth, but it was just samples
going like
that he took from the show.
like the it sounds like them fucking.
It
That's
was
awesome.
hilarious,
It would make
dude.
such a good ringtone.
Oh, Speed! All right, so who's your number one?
Oh wait, you gotta go number
one,
5.
We're going straight. Yeah, I was gonna go number 5.
We should
All right,
work
we're
our
going from
way
the
up.
bottom.
Yeah.
Okay.
My number 5 would be Bambi's mom. That would be my number 5.
That's fucking.
Yeah.
She was a fucking milf, dude.
We are definitely going to jail
Those
now.
fucking, that'll get you in jail. Like I want a fucking deer.
I saw a deer outside the other day. I was like, that might be Bambi's mom.
Bambi's
Dude.
mom.
Did you see
dude.
the ass on that deer? Like,
Call
oh
me
my
the
God.
hunter. I'm gonna fucking shoot you later.
She's a whitetail now.
Dude, I'm going. My number 5, dude, Dexter's mom.
We have the same number
Text.
5.
Hell yeah, dude. She was a
Fuck
fucking.
yeah.
She had that ass, dude.
Yeah.
She had that big old dog, dude.
That's really weird that like we both ended up at number 5 with that
Number
one.
5, Dexter's mom, dude. Dexter's mom.
I just
That
I
was
don't know.
like one of my favorite cartoons, and like she was like always like so nice. She had like gloves. She had like a weird OCD.
I don't
She
remember
had, like,
the
weird
mom
posture,
in that,
though.
In that show.
Her
'cause
posture was like
her
it just
ass
all
was
ass,
like
dude. Her butt was like a pea. It was
Yeah.
like pea
His
shape.
sister was hot, right? In that show.
Dee Dee, she was like a ballerina. She
Yeah,
had, like-
yeah.
There was a really weird episode. I thought it was weird as a kid, where like she takes off her ballet shoes, like the sister, and these gnomes like are obsessed with her feet or something.
I think I remember that.
I haven't
It's
watched
so
that since I
weird.
was a
It's
kid.
so it doesn't hold up.
Yeah.
No.
It's hard to. I loved it as a kid, but yeah, it doesn't hold up.
I think
probably
the-
because I don't smoke weed anymore.
Yeah, that was
You
gonna say
can't
that
really watch
definitely
like
helps.
cartoons not high.
Yeah.
The Mandark episodes always
Mandark
hold up.
was funny.
Those are fun.
Yeah. So both of yours were Dexter's mom.
Dexter's
for
mom,
number
dude.
5, who'd have thought?
She's bae, dude.
Yeah,
That's
she's
crazy.
in the
I'm
top
trying
5.
to put mine in order in my head now because I know what they are. Number 4, I would say probably Cartman's mom, Mrs. Cartman.
Mrs. Dude, you know
That's-
she's a hermaphrodite.
I don't care. She's a, she's a dirty whore, and I love it.
I mean,
Yeah, dude. they don't make those jokes anymore.
No.
Like in the early seasons.
What's she? I don't remember that.
Once they did the
What?
big
The
reveal,
hermaphrodite thing. When was that?
That was in where they find out who his dad is.
Yeah,
That's
they
like
went
the
on this
2-part
whole-
Oh, the
episode.
Denver Broncos.
Yeah, and then
yeah.
they recant it. But it's like, who's my dad? It's like, oh, well, your mom is your dad
Oh,
because
yeah.
your mom has both male and female genitals. She's a hermaphrodite. That's how I found out what hermaphrodite was as a kid.
What a
Yeah.
great way to learn.
It was South Park.
Who needs
and then,
health class?
And then he's like, "Who's my mom?" And then it like the episode like ends.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think she's also like one of the funniest
She's so funny.
moms.
Yeah.
When she was, your mom's on the cover of Crack Whore magazine, and then they find it. They don't make those jokes anymore.
Yeah.
No.
She's like normal.
Yeah, and
Like the trail
the most
of men.
classic line from South Park is the "Mom, Kitty's being a dildo."
Yeah.
Well, I know a certain kitty that's going to be sleeping with
Mommy
mommy tonight.
tonight.
It's such a good fucking line, dude. It's such a good joke.
Dude, it's so weird. I was watching an interview with Matt and Trey, and like they hate the early seasons.
Really?
Like,
They're so back, good.
I know.
The animation sucks.
Yeah, they're like, even like the
it.
jokes, they're like, oh, this isn't our humor. Like, this is so bad compared to us. But they also hate the World of Warcraft episode, and that's like
one of the
best. Yeah, dude. He talks. He's like, dude, yeah. After like, it's in that documentary. He's like, yeah, like I hated that episode. I was like, this is gonna ruin the show. Like, I wanted to go home and kill myself. And then like the next day, people were like, oh, it's a great hit. And then they're like, yeah, it's like one of the most talked about episodes.
The most impressive episode of South Park of all time was the Obama episode because it came out. The next night. After the election,
like after he's like where they're all rioting,
that's crazy. Like, I think they had to have had 2 episodes ready to go.
I would love to see.
I would love to see the lost episode. Because there's no way that they made an episode in a day. You can't animate that quickly.
And so you have to write it and do the voice. Yeah, there's a lot of shit.
Or maybe they like a lot of the like that episode would be the same, and they had just like different.
The first half.
I think you guys are ignoring the simplest explanation that the election was rigged and it's all fake.
Well, no, it was rigged. Yeah. It was all just so they could break into the steal the Hope Diamond.
Yeah, they just had to. Matt and Trey just had to call the Jews.
That is one of my favorite episodes where it's like the heist. And it's like, how's it going, Sarah? They all have like English accents. And it's like. They're like, now we have to stop pretending we're married. And he's like, was it really that bad?
It's easier to get elected than to steal the Hope Diamond, I guess.
So who's your number 3 or number 4?
My number 4?
Number 4, yeah.
Do you guys make fun of me for this? But dude, Kim Possible's mom, fucking sexy redhead.
She's
Kim Possible's mom,
and she's a doctor.
Is that what she was?
Yeah. Okay.
Dude, I fell in love with a redheaded doctor last weekend. I can't tell you who on the podcast because they'll get real mad. That's Kim Possible's mom.
Okay. All right.
We'll have a little
big
clip.
eyes.
Seems like they really recycled.
Yeah, Harrison can put little pictures of that'll make his job harder, but he can put.
Well, you know what? We gotta punish him for not being here. We have to punish him.
We can also have
he's been a very naughty boy.
Yeah, Harrison can put some. Pick the sexiest pictures too, Harrison.
Yeah, dude. Do hentai. Yeah, dude. I want her in a bikini.
Make sure you pick the sexiest picture of Bambi's mom.
I bet you that's out there, dude. I bet you there's some weird hentai of Bambi's mom. Who's your number 4?
My number 4.
Did you guys watch Kim Possible?
A little bit.
I secretly watched Kim Possible because it was a girl show, and I was like, Kim Possible's kind of hot.
But you gotta look. That's how you learn about
anytime
women.
I see a Kim Possible chick for Halloween, I'm just oh fuck, dude.
My number 4 was Francine from American Dad.
Okay. Dude, she's a great character.
I thought about her.
Yeah, I thought she was definitely. I thought about. She's so funny.
Yeah.
Cause one of her best lines is like, they're giving Jeff shit about smoking in the house. He's like, don't you think I just want to take a fucking nice long drag off a doob and go for like a long slow drive? I got shit to do. It's so funny.
I like when she gets high and then downs that whole 2 liter or whatever.
Yeah, that's the same episode. One time Stan goes, he's like, he's talking to Steve, he's like, I don't want you to lose your virginity to some coked up whore. And he's like, didn't you lose it to mom? He's like, yeah, that's what I said. But she's got American Dad's probably one of my top favorite shows. It's so fucking
it's
funny.
timeless too.
I've never
you can go
watched
back and
like
watch
new
it.
episodes of it. I only watch it like when it's on.
Better,
honestly.
They're funnier.
I only watch like the episodes that are in syndication.
I feel like where Family Guy took a lull, like during that time period, American Dad was real good.
Funny.
So it kind of made
gets
up
real absurd, and there's like so many good stories. There's like Steve Britchizzo.
Mm-hmm.
Then like Francine, they can all like branch out and have their own episodes. Like all the characters are like strong.
The Steve episodes are really fun
with his friends. His friends are so funny.
So we're at number 3.
We're number 3. Yeah.
This one's gonna be weird, and I don't remember her name because I fucking had it written down on my phone. But I like badass women. So fucking Archer's mom.
Dude, you like them gilfs, dude. Dude.
She's a hot old lady.
She was very sexual, you know.
One comment about John liking chicks that are kind of young, and then all of a sudden now he's into Bambi.
Yeah, he's really overcompensating.
No,
Archer's
that 19-year-old teenager.
Oh, hey, that is a joke I used to do, and I couldn't get it to work.
What?
Because that was the one that I thought gave me an STD, but really I just had a prostate problem, and I accused her of giving me an STD. So,
which is
were you
the
mad?
love
Were you upset?
language.
You're like, how'd you do it? Be like, hey man, my
I wasn't like so.
you had a prostate problem. Was it your butthole or
no?
were you, like,
It's called prostatitis. A lot of people have it.
Did
It's
it
just
burn
like
when you pee?
Yeah, so it's just like a random swelling of the prostate gland, but you can feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And so you just like take like ibuprofen and it goes down.
But it
It's
burned
fine.
when you pissed.
Yeah, because I didn't know what it was, so I didn't know what to do. So I
yeah, dude, I would have
Yeah.
fucking been like, oh, that's an STD.
yeah. But as soon as
like,
the doctor told me like what it was, like it was.
do they have to
easy.
give
Yeah.
you the test, the STD test?
That's why I ended up going to a urologist because I took several STD tests and they all came back negative.
Like at home?
No, I took one at Planned Parenthood, and then
Do they have to shove the Q-tip up your dick?
No, they don't do that anymore.
He
And
did
do
say
that
that they
anymore?
found a bunch of
No.
animated deer hair back there. It was weird. You know?
yeah,
I
no,
don't
they
think
take
you
blood
could get
now
it.
for that.
They
They
take
don't-
blood?
Yeah, they don't. If you want,
They
that-
test you for AIDS?
If you want the AIDS test, they take
Did-
blood now.
Did you freak out and think you had AIDS?
No, I thought I had like chlamydia or gonorrhea
Have
or
you
one of the
ever
ones
had
that
an
burn.
STD?
No,
I've never had one. Have you?
No.
no, but
I thought I had to take a test one time because someone was like, "Oh, I got something going on. You should get checked out," which is the scariest goddamn feeling ever. But
Yeah.
I was clean, thank
Have
God.
you ever had a friend that like brags to you about getting chlamydia? Because it's like, yeah, fuck a lot, dude. I got
Who the
chlamydia.
hell would do that?
And I'm like, dude, that's not a brag.
No.
My dickhead friends.
That's not that is not a brag.
You're like, oh, gross. I've also had friends that like have bragged about getting so drunk they piss themselves. I'm like,
That's
yeah,
not really a brag
Those things
either.
aren't brags,
No.
dude.
dude,
I've been
it's, so with that though, like I wasn't like I was upset and angry, but I wasn't like that way to her because you can't be. But there's also like no way you can.
Dude, that's
like,
not what Andrew
ask-
Tate says. He says you have to text that bitch, you dumb whore. You gave me fucking chlamydia. Men can't get STDs.
But it doesn't matter though.
It sounds like you wanna be a top G,
It
John.
doesn't matter like how.
Sounds like somebody's a beta cuck.
But it doesn't matter how nicely you ask someone if they gave you an STD. They're still going to be pissed and never talk to you again.
Well,
Like,
you
it's-
can be like,
And I would think like
you can't like be like accusing, be like, oh hey man, like I got something going on. Like, are you feeling anything? I just want to make sure you're cool.
Yeah,
It's-
it doesn't matter.
you
She's
can't really
like,
It doesn't
ask.
matter. Yeah, I just asked if she's
Well,
been
that's
tested
because she
recently.
wasn't.
That's it.
Her brain wasn't very
Shut
developed.
the fuck up.
She wasn't very mature. Maybe if he had sex with like older people,
Dude,
a
it was
nice
one
they're
sophisticated-
time-
more mature.
It was one time. It was legal.
Whatever, dude. You like teenagers.
No, dude. She was 19, and I was way younger than I am now. We're gonna move on.
do deer age like dogs?
Back to hot cartoon
We
moms.
gotta move on because we're on a time crunch. Jimmy, number 3.
Jimmy Neutron's or Timmy Turner's mom
Timmy Turner. Who's Timmy
from
Turner?
Fairly Odd Parents, dude.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That might have been a little before your time.
No,
or after your
it
time.
was after my time,
Yeah,
but I
like-
watched it every once in a while.
Like you're
Yeah.
like aware of it. They had
It was
issues?
like whenever
It's
one of those
something we can all
things
get
where I
behind.
forgot to, where I was like watch. I think it was on Nick,
Yeah.
and I was just like watching Nick at night, and I forgot to fucking. I would wake up and not want to get up and change the channel.
And you're just
you
like,
know?
what's this?
Yeah.
That was a big show in my childhood. I loved
I
it.
liked Fairly Odd Parents a lot.
The creator, Butch Hartman,
Mhm.
he's like friends with Seth MacFarlane and stuff. He left Nick because he is super conservative now and started his own religious like TV channel and makes like religious cartoons.
What
It
the
popped
hell?
up in my feed the other day. It was like lion and sheep in their adventures of the Garden of Eden. I was like, oh, what is crazy Christian bullshit is this? I was like, created by Butch Hartman.
Really?
The guy that like made half my childhood is like a crazy conservative Christian now. That sucks.
It just keeps getting worse, man.
yeah, dude. Like that's why he left Nick to
Yeah.
like the woke culture. And,
It just
like,
wasn't
he's like,
conservative
we
enough.
need more cartoons with family values. I was like, have you seen your cartoons?
Yeah.
Like, you're best friends with the guy that made Family Guy.
and you
Like,
want wholesome values.
Yeah, that's something I didn't watch that much. But Brandon, what's your number 3?
My number 3 actually was Kim Possible's mom. I was right there with you. She was.
That's how. Yeah, that's I knew.
You guys have very similar taste in cartoon women.
Yeah,
dude.
We're learning a lot about each other today.
So much.
Yeah.
I knew there was a reason.
I bet we have the same 1 and 2, dude.
There's a good shot at it. Yeah,
I have one that should definitely be in there, but she's not because it's. I'll tell you in a minute. But my number 2 would probably be, I don't know if you guys are even going to know this, but Daria's mom.
I never really watched Daria, but I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, she's a hot businesswoman.
Yeah, she likes strong women.
Yeah, I do, dude.
I like strong women too, dude.
You know, like, I mean, it's also because I want a woman that makes more money than me, you know, but
just so she can support your comedy dreams, dude. Me too, dude.
It's like a masculine.
I'll clean the house, dude.
That's the dream, dude.
Just let me go out every night and do comedy. Like, you could be the breadwinner. I'll take your last name, dude. I don't give a fuck.
He just comes home and he drops a parking ticket on the table for her, and she's like, "Again, John?" And he's like, "I know,
baby. I forgot to pay my bar tab last night at the show."
Like when I'm on dating apps, like if they're not at least an STNA, I'm swiping left.
Yeah, I need at least $60K a year, dude.
I really enjoy living under overpasses, and that's kind of my long-term goal. So I think I'm fine. I think I don't need anybody to support me.
I just don't want to support somebody. So like, I just don't want somebody that makes less money than me. You know what I mean? Like that's, I don't know.
Like how much less?
It's not about the money either. It's about where they're at in their life.
Yeah, dude.
Like I don't want to date like a server or a bartender because like I've been there. You know what I mean?
They fuck everybody in the restaurant.
I don't want to say that because, like, I think about that shit too, where it's like
I was just in the restaurant industry for a long time. Yeah, I don't want to live that life.
Right. Especially because it's like, dude, we have like 9 to 5 jobs essentially. It's like you're dating a bartender, dude. They're coming home like 3-4 in the morning. Right. And be like trash. Not that there's anything wrong with being a bartender.
There's nothing wrong with that,
dude. It does not matter. Like when I was in the restaurant industry, it does not. I don't know. It might be different now, but when I was in the restaurant industry, it was like it didn't matter how like young or old the people were in the restaurant industry. They still go out and party after work. Like,
that's why they're stuck in the restaurant.
Unless there's somebody that's like a career person who has already been down that road and they're sober now. Yeah, like, that's the only.
They're like, no, I can't because the judge was very clear. If I get in trouble again.
Yeah. When I see people that I used to work with in the restaurant industry, like still in it, I'm like, how? Are you, unless you got sober, like I don't know how you're still living that life.
Or you're like a GM, or like you went to culinary.
Yeah, that's a little different.
Well, I mean, like my brother's a GM for like an upscale restaurant. That's different.
But it's like, dude, you're still just like a bartender, like,
right?
You can't be a bartender forever.
Yeah. Well, you can't just.
You'll die young, probably. But yeah.
Unless I will say, at like upscale restaurants, I did know like some bartenders and servers that like didn't go out and party and shit. They were just like they made good money bartending and serving. So, you know. But there's career servers in New York, you know, like in career bartenders in New York because they make
so much money. That's how it is in Vegas too. Like you make.
But I'm talking about like so local.
Like Cleveland. Right. Like, well, you're gonna work at a dive bar the rest of your life.
Yeah, like, unless you're working at like somewhere like my brother works, like an upscale steak restaurant or something where like you're making 50, 60K a year, you're probably going out and partying every night and spending all your money. You know what I mean? Like,
right? Like, the moment you get your tips, that's just your fucking tab.
Yeah.
Ooh, like, drug money.
Like, it would, if I would have, like, not partied when I worked in the restaurant and bar industry, I'd be so much more well off right now. You know what I mean? Like, because I just didn't make any money those years. And I made probably $50,000 every year those years, but, like, I never saw any of it.
Just from tips?
Yeah, because I always worked at like either an upscale restaurant or like a really busy bar. So like I always made good money serving and bartending, but I drank and partied so much like I never had anything to show for it. You know?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. I couldn't see still living that life. That would be nuts.
It's sad and pathetic.
So we're
all right. So who's your number 2?
People are gonna hate us. Number 2. I thought we already did number 2. Did we?
No, we did number 3. We're on number 2.
No, my number 2 was Archer's mom, right?
I think you said Daria's mom.
Daria's.
mom.
Oh, so it's my number
It's
two.
your number two.
Dude, Jimmy Neutron's mom.
Okay, that's respectable.
Dude, I'm like fucking Carl Weezer, dude.
Yeah,
I got a crush on
Jimmy's
Jimmy's mom, dude. She was always kind of yelling.
And you like that? You like just being degraded or something?
Yeah, dude, I
yeah.
want her to be like James Edmund Gillies.
Yeah,
Go back to the land.
Yeah.
Oh,
It's the
like,
James thing. Here to
it's
say
the
your name.
James thing, yeah.
Yeah. Brandon, what's your number two?
My number two was Danny Phantom's mom.
Ah, dude, she was fucking hot.
Yeah,
Fuck.
she was a good one.
What show is that?
Danny Phantom, yeah, that was a later
Another
one.
Butch Hartman
Yeah,
show.
another
Now that
Butch
he's
Hartman
a
one.
psycho, crazy Christian
Was that the
conservative.
name of the show?
Danny Phantom. Yeah.
I don't
He
even
was
remember
a boy.
seeing
Danny
that.
Fenton was just 14 when his parents built a very strange machine. Something. Now he's
Isn't
a
that
goat.
just like
He
Fairly
had
Odd
something
Parents?
white
When
hair
he was
and glowing
younger?
green
Green
eyes.
Isn't
Gotta
that
catch
just
him
like Fairly Odd Parents? Only the dude from Fairly Odd Parents was like a little kid.
It's
No,
like the same
it's,
animation style.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like the same guy. It was like a teenager. His parents were like ghost hunters, and they made this ghost portal.
And then it
Gives him ghost powers,
Okay.
and he's like a ghost superhero, and he has to like
I've never even heard of
fight
this cartoon.
ghosts.
It's
pretty
worth
good.
checking out,
It's
actually.
pretty
It's
good,
not a
pretty
bad.
good, pretty good. Again, a little like after your time of
Yeah.
like you would have been like at least maybe like 21.
Oh, yeah.
Like it would have been like weird.
All right, so my number one is very old school. This is before my time, and that's Joan Jetson
Joan Jett,
for sure.
She was
I thought
on my
you were
list for a minute, but I
so
swapped her out. Yeah, I respect that. I respect
thought you were
it.
gonna
That was
say,
like my dad's era of cartoons.
I watched
but
Jetsons,
still,
though.
yes, everybody did.
Hanna-Barbera did everything,
I mean,
man.
Jetsons and the Flintstones were like the two cartoons that were on for the longest period.
Yeah.
I was always like these old cartoons.
Really?
Like I watched them, but I was like, dude, you could be playing something.
The Jetsons were good though, dude.
That was a fun one.
I watched
was
the
a good
Flintstones more than the Jetsons.
Yeah.
I was
Just-
reverse on that.
I don't know.
Oh, that's the
Okay.
Flintstones,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
The Flintstones.
Jetsons, I don't remember the song, but
It was
He's
just
George
like
Jetson.
Oh, he's George Jetson.
His
Oh,
boy
yeah, that's
Elroy.
it.
But yeah, they just say
Yeah.
the names, and it's like.
that was like the early. I'm pretty sure that was like the early days of Cartoon Network. Like that was like the old show that they played on Cartoon Network. when it
Yeah,
first
like
started.
before, like when Cartoon Network started, it was just like old Hanna-Barbera cartoons.
Yeah.
So they started like making like Dexter's Lab and
I watched it a lot on
Space
Boomerang.
Ghost Coast to Coast was
that
the
was one of my
first
favorites.
original. It's on an Adult Swim show.
That was
the
one of my
first
favorite
Cartoon
shows.
Network like original. That is it. I rewatched it recently. It's so fucking funny. still.
Yeah, dude, I watched that as a kid. I watched that like every week.
It's very I remember being little and watching it. It's very like Eric Andre, where like
Yeah,
they think they're going in for like a real interview, and then it's like they're talking to Space
I mean, I think that's what inspired Space Ghost Coast to Coast. I think is what inspired a lot lot of those like weird Cartoon
like
Network
Aqua Teen
cartoons.
Hunger Force, Sea
Or,
Lab,
like
they're all-
Robot
Oh,
Chicken,
yeah.
like shit like that.
Yeah.
Like, it-
Aqua Teen Hunger Force is like a direct spin-off of Space Ghost.
is it?
There's there's like a season that was like a when they moved it to Adult Swim. There's an episode where it's like early Frylock and Shake and Meatwad, and they're like different. They look different, but it's like the prototypes. And
Have you guys watched the new movie?
yeah, I liked
have
it.
not.
It's on HBO,
Paramount, right? Oh,
No,
it's on HBO.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll watch it then. I thought
Oh.
it was on Paramount.
The only problem I have is like it came out so long after the show that like animation is so cheap and easy that you can make like good quality animation for like nothing.
Yeah.
So the animation style, it's so fluid and like just better
Oh, they didn't
quality.
use the same animation.
Well, it's just newer. Like
See,
the
that's-
show
that's
is like
dumb.
yes, but it, like
Like they
the
should have,
humor
even
of-
though it's a new show, they should have just used the old animation.
but it's just like that quality. It's just like it's too new. Like it still looks like the old show, but you can tell it's like much newer because they can't use like the first. It's like made on Flash, you know.
Right.
And that was like the charm of the show was like it was so crappily fucking animated. Like that's what made it funny.
Dude, Carl was the best.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like oh they can make it like actually look good now, which it looks a little weird. It's not bad. It
Yeah.
still looks normal, but you can tell it's like new.
Sometimes I wonder if that's the evolution of
Like,
like
it's too
TVs
fluid.
too. You know, like with how new all their TVs are and like 4K and all that shit.
Like the show came out in 2001.
Yeah,
like,
so it's not.
So
going
they
to
were like
translate.
literally moving like this, and now they can make them like actually like walk.
Yeah,
Like,
and it might even be easier for them. To
yeah,
do that.
yeah, it's easier to make them
than to
like,
try to do it the old way.
Yeah,
I get it.
All right, Brandon or Jimmy, did you give your number one?
Oh, my number one.
Yeah.
The classic, dude. This is incredible, dude.
Yeah, I respect that. She almost made my list too.
That fucking fat old ass.
Yeah, they
that
tried.
Unnecessarily big ass.
I just watched the movie with
That's
Haley
like
yesterday,
fucking
and
a million pixels. Like,
I kept thinking everybody on the internet was like perverts. I was like, you guys are perverting this movie, and then I watched it yesterday. I'm like, no, Pixar perverted this movie. That's who did it.
dude. They said fucking Ego, the Living Planet, and Guardians of the Galaxy was the most like polygons like ever used in a computer animation. That's how you make like
Oh, okay.
that's how you build computer like CGI stuff.
Yeah,
I'm saying no, dude. It's Mrs. Incredible's ass.
Yeah, that's another one of those movies though, where if you watch the first one on a 4K TV, you're like, I don't remember the animation looking this bad. Like, I don't remember.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see.
Why does this look like a PlayStation 1
in
game?
IMAX 3D for Mrs. Incredible's ass.
I respect that. I respect that.
Who's your number one?
My number one was Lilo's sister.
Legal Guardian.
Legal Guardian on a
I'll give
technicality.
you that.
On a technicality.
Technically, that's a mom.
Yeah. You know,
dude, some
she's
people
doing
don't have
mom
moms; they have
things.
guardians. Okay?
Yeah,
She's doing mom things.
She's doing mom things. That counts.
And yeah, that's definitely number one for me.
All right, I gotta say honorable mention because I always thought she was hot is Lois Griffin, but
yeah,
did you watch Animals?
But I've seen Lois take a dick so many times.
Like in the right corner of your
the little advertisement
browser. Yeah,
it just seems broken
just like,
now.
I've seen
dude.
Brian humping her. Yeah,
Like, I don't want
It's
Brian
been
Seconds.
overplayed.
Have you watched Animals on HBO?
Yes.
Do you remember the
Yes.
episode with like the pigeon where he trips and he's obsessed with Lois Griffin? And like at the end, it's like, "Come here, Peter," and it's like actually her.
There's a comedian that we all know that has a joke that was an episode of Animals, but we'll talk about that.
Really?
Yeah.
Dude, my honorable mention: Martha Wayne, Batman's mom.
Oh, well,
Cartoon?
which one? Because like, there's been so many iterations of her dying.
I've never watched any
Anyone,
Batman
dude.
cartoons.
Do you like her more or after she dies? Like,
Like right before.
right before?
I want to see the fear in her
Oh,
eyes.
that's-
No, or
It was actually Jimmy at
the mom
gunpoint.
from the Proud Family.
Yeah, I almost put her on the list.
Mom
Too.
from the Proud Family is my
That's a
honorable
pretty-
mention.
That's a pretty solid one.
But the mom from Squidbillies. Is there a mom in Squidbillies?
Yeah, she lives in the dumpster. Dude, I can't watch Squidbillies more than like one episode. If I watch like 2 episodes, like I feel myself getting dumber.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same.
I'm like, dude, my eyes
it
will
is
start
a
to
very
hurt.
dumb show.
It is so nonsense. Like
Uh,
it makes my brain hurt after like 2 episodes.
Dave Stone does a voice on Squidbillies.
Does he?
Yeah, the dude that Dave Stone does the Boogie Monster with Kyle Kinane.
Kyle Kinane, yeah. Kyle Kinane has done a lot of Aqua Teen Hunger Force episodes.
Dude, the one Paradise PD with Kyle Kinane is
Yeah, he's
pretty
Oh,
the dog.
good. Yeah.
I like Paradise
the
PD.
Down dog.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's the
Great.
drug
The
dog.
drug sniffing dog.
Yeah, there's a bunch of. I think Kyle Kinane's in the new Aqua Teen Hunger Force movie.
Yeah. Actually, the mom in Paradise PD is like reminds me a lot of the mom from Daria.
Strong businesswoman.
Yeah. Like they almost look the same too. Like
Who's your honorable mention?
Man, I don't know. You guys pretty much covered all of them. Mine was probably going to be the mom from the Proud Family, but
Proud Family.
Well,
I can't think of any other off the top of my head.
and the Flintstones, I didn't know her name, but Barney Rubble's wife.
Yeah, that was another one I almost
Betty
had.
Rubble.
Betty
Yeah,
Rubble.
dude. Yeah, she was like hotter than Wilma.
Yeah, I was just.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know why she was so much
I
hotter
just
than
never
Wilma.
liked the redheads until like recently.
I love redheads.
Like
I love
it.
redheads.
When I was
If
like,
you're a
younger, I
redhead
never liked
who
them.
listens to this podcast, slide into my DMs.